I want you to get ready. Only thing I want you to do is to be ready. This is the broadcast that will talk about open and honest conversations every time we come live. I want you to get ready. Get ready, prepare yourself. Things happen all the time. There's always things coming at us. Get ready, strap your seatbelt on real tight, and get ready because you are embarking in. This is
The Raheen Ashimi Show.
There we go. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Raheen Ashimi Show. I'm your host, Raheen Ashimi. We have a great broadcast lineup for you this evening. What we're going to talk about Black history. We're going to talk about Black history. We're going to talk about it from an angle that maybe you have never heard it before. We're going to uncover some things that may shake some things up in you, may wake you up. Sometimes I say this all the time. Sometimes in order to wake them up, we got to shake them up a little bit. So we're going to come with some facts that you may not be familiar with, that you may have heard before, that you may not have heard, and some may be kind of disturbing to you. Some may be kind of disturbing to you, some of the stuff that we're going to talk about, but we're going to talk about it, and we're going to talk about it in its entirety and as openly, as honestly as we can. So if you have little kids, be careful. Be careful. Or be ready to explain to them after the broadcast. We're only going to be here for 1 hour. We're going to be here for 1 hour. We're going to do this every Thursday from 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock during the Black History Month. We're going to do this. We may even take it a little further. It depends. But I just wanted to forewarn you that some of the stuff that we talk about today, you may not be ready for, or your kids may not be ready for. So be ready to, if you're going to let them listen, if you're going to let them listen, it's a choice of yours. You are the parent. If you're going to let them listen, be ready to explain to them when the broadcast is over what we talk about. So you might want to get your pen and paper, write down some notes and stuff, and that way you can actually go back and make reference to what we talk about, and you'll be able to explain it to your children. All right. I just wanted to put that disclaimer out there. Now I'm going to introduce the people that we have here. We got a couple other people that are supposed to be coming as well, but I always do the ladies first. Always ladies first. So, young lady, tell everybody who you are and where you and around, what you want to tell them about yourself. I ain't gonna say where you're hailing from, because you might not want to put that information out there. But just tell them who you are and something about yourself. Cookie.
Um, Good evening. I'm Coach Cookie. I'm just me.
Okay.
I'm just from the South, raised on sweet tea and Jesus. It takes me all day to mind my business. I am who I am. Nothing complicated about me. I love to read. I love history. And I love to share what I know about history.
Mhm.
Thank you for the invitation.
Hey, thank you for accepting. Thank you for accepting. Young man, Andy, tell us a little bit about yourself, brother.
This is Andy Hope Williams Jr., 2024 presidential applicant. I
Mhm.
say applicant because you applying for a job. Too many candidates and not enough applicants. Let's see your background. In the
Mhm.
streets, I'm known as a hood candidate. Why? Because I got a hood on? No, because we got to restore the neighbor back to the hood. And as Malcolm said, when it's time to vote, elect, we need somebody from the community with a heart from the community that can relate to the community. That's who you put into an office of representation. And when we deal with this current generation, it is about the hood, restoring the hood, the neighbor back to the hood, resurrecting Black Wall Street. That's me. AWJ2024.com.
Good deal, good deal. And just for the record, for people that's listening and may know, we do the morning glow every day, Monday through Friday. And this gentleman's actually going to be I guess on the morning glow tomorrow morning. So he's going to tell you a little bit about what's going on. We're going to talk about Black history tonight, and tomorrow we're going to talk about the candidacy that he have. And so my thing is, I want to go and let's go to Miss Cookie, and we're talking about Black history, sister. We're talking about Black history. So throw some facts out there. Let's talk about some things in regards to Black history.
Um,
Did you know that?
okay.
Did you know that? Okay, we'll start like that. Did you know that? And then fill in the blank for me.
Did you know that there was not only one Black Wall Street, but there used to be three?
Mhm.
The first Black Wall Street was in Durham, North Carolina. It was a Haiti immigrant neighborhood, middle class. They had their own Black Wall Street,
Mhm.
200 businesses, and it got shut down. There was also a Black Wall Street called Jackson Ward in Richmond, Virginia. They used to call it Black Harlem.
Mm-hmm.
It too had over 200 businesses. It had an insurance company, a pharmacy, a hospital. Uh, it had its own school, all sorts of things. What happened to that neighborhood was the Richmond Petersburg Turnpike was built, and they let the turnpike go straight through the heart of um, Black Harlem.
Mm-hmm.
And the most famous Black Wall Street was Greenwood, Tulsa, Oklahoma, and it
Mm-hmm.
had over 600 businesses. In 1921, they were burned to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know?
No. You took my breath away with that one. No, I did not. I know what everyone else know about the one that's in Tulsa. I'm actually from North Carolina, and I wasn't aware of that. I'm from North Carolina, Greensboro, which is about 45 minutes, maybe an hour from Durham. So I know Durham area. As a matter of fact, I have a brother that live in Durham right now, so I know that area very well. Did not know that. And see that's a perfect start to where we're going, because a lot of times we're going to bring forth information with the people that's going to be on here, that's going to bring forth knowledge that a lot of us may not know, have never heard of. And so, sister, to answer your question, no, I did not know that. I did not know. Let me go to Andy. Andy, answer me the question. Did you know? Give us a Black History fact, brother.
Can I ride with Cookie for a second before I come out with something different?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Did you know the reason why they burned Tulsa, Oklahoma? Because those were unincorporated lands. See,
Mm,
our ancestors, they were not part of the municipal corporation, so they had no jurisdiction over them. So they
mm-hmm,
wanted the land.
mm-hmm,
Everything has always been about the land. When we go back to the 40 acres and the mule, it was more about the land, because anytime you have your own land, you can sustain yourself. And that's
mm-hmm,
been the whole move with our people, primarily the people of color, is to take our land. And so
mm-hmm.
that's why the whole thing, they were jealous of them. They had their land. You got to look at the 1920s. That's just 60 years after this alleged 13th Amendment emancipation, which that's just a proclamation. It ain't nothing. But
Mm-hmm.
these people were able to sustain themselves, and now you wanted what they had. So did you know that is one of the primary reasons why they bombed Tulsa, Oklahoma?
Wow.
They try to say it was because of the guy at the courthouse and the woman or whatever they said, but it had to do with that land.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Wow. See, the, the knowledge that we just in the last first 5 minutes, the knowledge has already come forth. The knowledge is all. I can't wait till the second and third and the fourth conversation that we're going to have, and everybody that's going to fill up our minds and fill up our brains, because they're trying to take Black history for whatever reason, and we know what the reason is. They're trying to erase Black history and take Black history away so that people cannot know the contributions that we as a people have had to the society. And if you just walk out your door, just walk out of your door sometimes and look around, and it won't be hard to find something that has been contributed by us. So, brother, go ahead on. You got the floor, Andy. Talk to me.
I got you. Well, did you know that in October 2012, Tom Joyner was having a conversation with Barack Obama? And so Tom Joyner said, it's our first black president of the United States. To which Obama replied, I don't look at myself as the first black president because the word black has no standing at law. And what that means is when we label us as people as black, that's really civilly dead in the view of the law. That's why we always saying black people don't have no rights. And the United States, the personal management, they got this form SF 181 that deals with ethnicity and race identification.
Mm-hmm,
And did you know when you look up under there, when it says the racial category for black or African American, it says a person having origins in any of the black racial groups of Africa.
mm-hmm,
But when you look at the other ones, it'll say for American Indian or something, a person having origins in the original people of North and South America. When it talks about Asian, a person having origins in any of the original people of the Far East, Southeast. Or
mm-hmm,
white, a person having origins in any of the original peoples of Europe or Middle East. But when they say this about people of color, which they've labeled us as black, and the black racial group.
mm-hmm,
So you see the tie-in is when it says blacks have no standing at law because they consider blacks as civilly dead.
mm,
That's why we always out here and I like to say it in better terms, we trying to advocate for our rights, saying us blacks, instead of advocating saying we are the people. We're one of the people. Because if you look up the original word of American, it would say the original Aboriginal indigenous people were copper colored race. That the Europeans took that name and now they call themselves Americans. So that's from the Noah Webster 1828 dictionary. I'm a little historian, but I'm just saying that's what I read, and that's what I said. So when I file suits, I always say an American of the Aboriginal, but perceived to be black. Because your perception of me does not mean that's who I am. I am who I say I am, and before anything, I'm a man. And if you perceive me to be black, well, go and run that remedy on based on your perception. Your ignorance of me does not make me ignorant of who I am.
That's a good deal. Good deal. Good deal. We coming out with all guns loaded. Toussaint. Good morning, sir. How you doing this morning, Lord? I'm thinking the morning glow. Good afternoon, sir. Good evening. How you doing this evening?
Doing well. How about yourself?
Hey, doing well, doing well. This is our Black History broadcast. We're going to do this every Thursday, from 6 to 7 during the month of Black History. And we may even extend it. I think that we really should extend it. We should limit it to just 1 month. But right now we're doing it for this particular month. So give us a Black History fact. Did you know that? Fill in the blank for me.
Well, I'm not too much of a historian, but I'm more of a listener when it comes to history, any kind of history. But then, did you know that I guess I would more so be concerned or talk about Toussaint the Overture. Was a former governor, general of Saint Dominique, and he kind of had the revolutionary of Haiti. He fought in the allies with Spain, forced against Saint Dominique Royalists. They joined the Republic of France, became Governor General for life of Saint Dominic, and lastly fought against Napoleon, the Emperor. So that's just a little bit of what I know about him, but I kind of like was listening at my brother, and you know, when we I don't limit myself to a category, but I know who I am, and I can't deny that. We as a people have to realize that we've kind of paved the way up for a lot of people. When we go to bat, it seems like we go to bat for not only per se African American, but we fight for liberty and justice for all. Like our little quote in this United States of America. Every time you see somebody stand for righteousness, stand for liberty, stand for justice, and they are of our descent, we bring everybody in. And it's always been like that. But it seems like Martin Luther, Malcolm, even Toussaint here, to liberate not only one people, but all people. And I don't know who said it, but he said, I don't know who said it. Y'all may be able to help me with that.
Hey, Toussaint,
do
you think and I love where you're going, but do you think that's a disservice that we try to include everybody instead of just concentrate solely on ourselves first? Because I was told years ago that a lot of times if a person go into a household and everybody in the household have not eaten, you go to the one, I don't even know if I want to say it in that way, but if you go into a household, You go to the one that's hungry first, that have not eaten first, to feed them, to make sure that they come to the level of everybody else, and then you continue to feed everybody. But in order to, you have to have an equal playing field. You have to first, you have to
Mhm.
have an equal playing field in order to stand on. So do you think do you think it's a justice? Do you think it's right that we concentrate on everybody, or should we concentrate on the one that's most in need first, and even the playing field before we move concentrate on feeding everybody?
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing right here. And in the our realm, whatever you want to call it, religious, holiest, Christian, whatever you want to call it, the strong ought to bear the infirmities of the weak.
Mm-hmm.
There's no
Mm-hmm.
something else out there.
Okay.
I am my brother's keeper.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lesson learned. Because if we be like the Cain mentality, that's destructive. And we live in a society that the reason why we are dysfunctional, that's the reason why we're not obtaining, we're selfish.
Mm.
Me, my, and I. And there's power in we, not
Mm-hmm.
I.
Mm-hmm.
If each one of us are an I, we fighting against each other. We
Yeah.
wind up battling each other for the
Mm-hmm.
same cause. Because
Mm-hmm.
you know why? And I'll shut up. Everybody want to lead.
Wow. Wow.
And you cannot have everybody lead.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody got to follow.
Good deal. Good deal. Good deal. Cassandra, good evening, young lady. How you doing this evening?
Hello.
Cassandra, this is our Black History broadcast. This is our Black History broadcast, and we're talking about Black history. So I'm asking, and fill in the blank for me, if you will. Did you know that? And give us a Black History fact that maybe people did not know, or some may have known, but give us a fact.
Hmm. Did you know that Hazel Scott, a black woman in the 1930s and 40s, was doing major motion pictures with some of the biggest stars in Hollywood, and
Mm,
then ended up almost being killed by people in Texas because she insisted on black people being able to attend her concert.
mm,
The Rangers, actually Texas Rangers, had to actually take her across the Texas borders
wow.
because they were threatening to kill her and her entourage and her band.
Mm, mm. See, and that's what we're doing here. I'm loving where we are right now because we're bringing forth things that I know a lot of the stuff that's coming forth right now. I didn't know, I did not know, and so it's helping me, and I hope that it's helping somebody else. And I spoke to the parents area to make sure you have your children to listen because these are things that we're talking about right now. Things that we're talking about right now. They're not going to teach you in school. Bless you.
Excuse
Your
me. Thank
school books are not going to cover the things that we're talking about right now. The phone lines are open as well. Give us a call 508 924 3521 508 924 3521. The phone lines open. Give us a call. We'd love to hear from each and every one of you. And to talk to me, brother.
So what I appreciate about what's not being taught in school, specifically when it comes to the resurrection of Black Wall Street, we taught our own self.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that Dr. King had said in his latter days, it looks like we integrating into a burning house. And we're still fighting for rights that are ours. There are unalienable rights given to us by nature's God and a creator.
Mm-hmm.
And if we as a people continue to ask the government to give us something,
Mm-hmm.
we are begging to be slaves.
Mm.
We are volunteering to be slaves because freedom does not depend on what another man gives you. Freedom is I can do for myself and barter and trade with other people. There was a time my mother would share to me that she grew up down south in Tennessee, that the block, where they lived on, if this person was growing this or if this person was having that, they brought that together, as a
Mm-hmm.
community. You couldn't tax that.
Yeah.
And we have been, when the scriptures say we born into sin, that's born into this debt, this bondage. And when we look at Yeshua, the one Christ, he says, my kingdom is not of this world. I think we believe that's him saying, oh, I'm in the heavens. No, he's saying in my kingdom, we operate like this. And in this world system, they operate like this.
Yeah, totally different.
And even though I am an applicant for the position of president, there's a job description there. And the one that I hold most dearly is the chief magistrate of the law. And the law was always do my neighbor no harm. You know, don't take from the property or infringe upon somebody else's rights. That's common law. That's natural law. And what these men have done, disguised as public servants, they've created legislation and deemed that to be law when it's not. You could never vote away my rights. I don't care how many of it is, because the majority is mob rule, which is similar to the Ku Klux Klan for us that's recognizing that.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Again, the number 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We're talking Black history. We're gonna bring a lot of different topics during the course of what we're going to do in the next few weeks. And we want to have you as a part of it. Let's build together. 508-924-3521. Cookie, talk to me.
Before I leave with my did you know, let us be mindful. This not a political rally. We're not campaigning. We sharing information. Information, not individual information, historical information about Black people. Did you know that in 1968 in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, 25 Black men created the first official EMT program? They created a program that it was a 32-week course with 300 mandated hours. They taught CPR, they taught defensive driving, and they taught how to use tourniquets and things of that nature. Their program was so efficient and so pervasive that the city of Pittsburgh contracted them to become the EMT service. Because before that, people got to the hospital through funeral services, funeral cars, or through the police. This was the first time that there was an official ambulance service put into place. And then other cities throughout the North implemented the same model. These 25 people happened to be 25 Black men.
Wow. Why is it, and Cookie, I'm coming back to you with this. So here, we got another call on the line. We're going to go to that call as well. But why is it that throughout the annals of time, throughout history, they do not want to give us the proper credit that we need or that we deserve? Cookie?
Isn't it one of those things where we're their adversary? And if we know how great the generations before us were, then it'll inspire us to be even greater. And no one likes to see the people who are beneath them exceed them. Because we are smarter, brighter, more intelligent. Think about it. In Egypt, we have pyramids that have stood the test of time, in the midst of sandstorms for thousands of years. And even in our history books in this country, they taught us that the pyramid was a pyramid. No, the pyramid is a diamond. That's why it's so stable. Half of it exists underground. That's where the pharaohs lay, in the part that resides underground. That shows you the limited thinking in the people who write our books. If you let us know how magnificent we were, we will be inspired to continue being magnificent. That's why things are hidden from us, so that we'll think that we never accomplished anything, and we won't pour from whence we come.
Exactly. We certainly are not chickens. We're the eagles, and we fly high above everything. But even with that visual I just gave, you have to be. I'm not even gonna go there. I was about to go somewhere, but I'm gonna leave that right there. I think we have Dr. Cook. Dr. Cook, is that you? Is that your number? Are you there?
I'm here.
Hey.
I missed the question.
Okay. Well, Dr. Cook, this is our Black History. We're having a Black History conversation. We're going to do this every Thursday from 6 to 7 during the month of February for Black History Month. And I'm thinking that we're going to extend it past because we don't have to limit ourselves to just 1 month. They try to, but we don't have to. But I'm asking you for a Black History fact that you know of that you would like to share.
Okay. Well, I love Maya Angelou,
Mm-hmm.
and I learned of her growing up. And I think a lot of us know about Maya Angelou.
Mm-hmm.
She was raped at a certain age, and the person that raped her was killed. And she basically thought that she had him murdered.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so she wouldn't speak for a while. And so she grew up. She loved poetry. She
Mm-hmm.
loved to write, and she basically talked about a lot of different things in her poems. A lot
Mm-hmm.
of some things that she went through. She
Mm-hmm.
talked about women. Um, she was just inspiring in her poetry, in her
Mm-hmm.
writing, and um, and she was a magnificent actress.
Mm-hmm.
Um, she was a inspiring mother as well. Um, and she didn't talk about motherhood as much, but I really loved her poem, um, "While the Cage Bird Sings,"
Mm-hmm.
and the other one's "Phenomenal Woman."
Yes.
Um, so I really, she was a woman that really truly inspired me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Learning of how she grew up. A lot of women went through some of the same things that she went through. People were able to put themselves in some of the things that she went through when she was growing up. So that was one lady,
Mm-hmm.
one beautiful soul that inspired me, and to learn about her history and to know that she inspired so many women. Um, and that's what it's all about, giving back to the community. Even though you've gone through any other trials and tribulations, you learn to overcome all of that. And you through your inspirations, your trials and tribulations, you're teaching others and you're also inspiring others. And I just honor that lady
Mm-hmm.
for what she has brought into my life and into other, even men as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that was one Black History moment that I remember. And her poetry is just phenomenal. And
Absolutely.
and other things she has done as well.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That's good. That's good. Toussaint, you said something earlier about Haiti and the Haitian people. Um, they have been trying to shun Haiti for a long time because of the fact that they were very victorious in the war that they had. They didn't think that Haiti was going to fight back, but they did. Not only did they fight back, but they fought back and won and pushed them off the island. Talk to me about Haiti, brother.
It reminds me of the old message my dad preached. Consider the ant.
Mm, mm,
See, sometimes we think we have to be big and strong and mighty, look like, appear to be,
mm-hmm,
but not necessarily so. You just have to have a willing heart and just strong in your own right.
mm-hmm,
And I think that you see when you have a person, that's why I say you got to have somebody that is willing to lead the fight.
yeah, yeah,
And when I mentioned the overture, there's a twofold thing there because I think I mentioned it before on another show that I wanted to name my son uh, Overture. My brother educated me
mm-hmm,
into the fact that you can't get too close to the enemy because he
mm-hmm,
has tricks.
yeah, yeah,
If you search the history, you'll find out what happened at the end. But
mm-hmm,
there's another known fact that I wanted to share with you, and I'm not trying to uh, ignore what you were saying,
mm-hmm,
But another, I like to talk about my people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unfortunately, they are in there somewhere. I'm talking about my personal people.
Come on.
So Rodney Milburn,
Mm-hmm.
born in, watch this, Raheen, Opelousas, Louisiana. Holding dice.
Not absolute. Say that fancy. What is it? Appaloosa. Yes, sir.
Opelousas, Louisiana,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
May 18th, 1950.
Mm-hmm.
That's my kinfolk. I
Mm-hmm.
remember when I was running, and I was kind of well, but he was coaching at Southern University
Mm-hmm.
in 1985. He actually died in 1997, November 11th. He's 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 buried on a little place that my family grew up on. It's called Tash.
Mm-hmm.
It was a community, and he's laid to rest there. So that's another unknown fact about some of my people.
Wow. Wow. And that's personal. That's very personal because that is your bloodline. That's very personal. So that's good. That's good.
Definitely.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Cookie, talk to me.
Okay. Did you know that um, Jane Bolin was the first black female judge of the United States?
Mm. The first
Did
female.
you also know? Did you also know that a lady named Sadie Tanner Marcel Alexander was the first black woman in the United States to get a PhD in economics from the University of Pennsylvania?
Mm. Mm-hmm.
The same woman, Sadie Tanner Marcel Alexander, also graduated from Pennsylvania School of Law.
Mm-hmm.
Is that not impressive?
Very, very, very. Wow. And Sue, I was going to say something, but I want to keep this thing moving because I want to get as many facts in as I can. And certainly on this first one, and we're going to lay it out and talk a little more in detail as we go on the next couple of weeks. But Cassandra, what's on your heart? Talk to me. Black history fact.
Now, what did you just ask me?
I asked you about a Black history fact, but what I want to talk to you about, let's talk a little bit about something that you know very well. You work with this thing. You've been working with it for years. The Moores Ford Bridge. Let's educate some people on,
Uh-huh.
on some of the facts that, in regards to the Moores Ford Bridge and what it represents and what it means to you.
Okay. Morse Ford Bridge is the last unsolved mass lynching in U.S. history. It took place in Monroe, Georgia, in 1946.
Mm-hmm.
It was the lynching of 5 African Americans, 2 couples, the Malcolms and the Dorseys. Dorothy Malcolm was actually 7 months pregnant at the time of the lynching. So we have been trying to get some answers for the families for many years now. It's been over 70 years. But last year, what is significant about this case is that last year, the Supreme Court actually heard the case.
Wow.
Yeah, the Supreme Court actually, because we're trying to get, can you come over? Yeah, the Supreme Court actually heard the case last year, and they said that, they could, they would not hear it. They would not hear the entire case, but they heard, our plea, and they said that they would be willing to listen again. But since then, we have the attorney that is handling the case, Joe Bell. He has actually been able to get Moores Ford Bridge recognized up under the lynching bill that that took place. Yeah, so it's still alive and well, and the families still need answers because some of these people, some of the lynchers we know are still alive.
Yeah,
they're still alive, and just like the Jews do with the Nazis, they hunt them down. They don't care if they're 105. They have them prosecuted. And I feel like when it comes to lynching, if the people are found and they're found to be guilty, I don't care how old they are, they need to be held accountable.
Cassandra, let me ask you this question. And this young lady,
Hmm.
she has I think recently passed. But the young lady that made the false accusation against Emmett Till, they,
Hmm.
last couple of years, it's come out that, and she said that, it wasn't true, but she was never charged. But she was 80,
Hmm.
90 years old, whatever it was when she passed. Should she have been charged?
Yeah, she should have. She caused something that literally her actions took caused a man's life to be taken. First of all,
Mm-hmm.
that's illegal.
Mm-hmm.
That's illegal. And she lied, she perjured, she did all of that, and she was never held accountable. How do you do that? How do we make that seem right,
Mm-hmm.
look right, feel right? You can't. So
Yeah,
yeah, she should have been charged,
exactly.
even though she never was.
The situation, and I'm coming to you. The situation that happened here in the state of Georgia, um, with Oscarville, how they
Hmm.
concocted and how they concocted a story and say that I think it's supposed to have been a rape or something of that nature that it was supposed to have happened in Oscarville, which is now on Lake Lanier. They ran all the people out and took the land and killed a few of them and engulfed it in water and drowned the whole town.
Hmm.
History. Let's talk history, Andy. What? Yeah, I see you shaking your head, brother. Talk to me.
Yeah, no, just thinking about that. But did you know that the Frederick Douglass Patterson was the first African to build motorized cars, and he had
Mm-hmm.
a company in Greenfield, Ohio, and it
Mm-hmm.
was called Patterson and Sons Company. So he
Yes.
made the Model T Ford buses, and this
Mm-hmm.
was way before Henry Ford was even
Mm-hmm.
existed.
Exactly. 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 Wow. See, there's so much history to be. There's so much that we need to talk about. There's so much that needs to come to the table. There's so much that need to come to the forefront in regards to Black history. Black history. Dr. Cook, talk to me. What do you say about Oscarville and the situation of the uh harbor situation that happened in that particular instance here in the state of Georgia?
I just recently learned about that. It's so much Black history, so much African American history. It's we will never learn all of it. And
Mm-hmm.
I hate that I just learned about that this past year,
Mm-hmm.
toward
Wow.
the end of the year, and I
Mm-hmm.
had to look it up.
Yeah.
Some of my one of my brothers just um, that's a Facebook friend of mine basically put information out.
Mm-hmm.
And when I see something that I've never seen before, I got to research that,
Yeah.
got to look it up. And it
Mm-hmm.
was so sad. It's so sad that the town is under, I don't know how many feet deep it is, but to know that that history is still there in Georgia, and they ran so much water there. It's called a lake now.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was reading something else about it, and it said no one should go swimming in that or fishing from that. Something will happen to people, or something
Mm-hmm.
has happened to people. Someone has drowned in Lake Lanier,
Many people.
and what did you say?
I say many people have lost their lives in Lake Lanier after that fact.
Yeah,
Some people believe that there's a haunting spirit that's over Lake Lanier, and they tell you not to go swimming or fishing or anything in that particular waters. But every
right.
every year there's something that every year you could guarantee yourself that somebody's gonna lose their life on the waters of Lake Lanier. But go ahead.
Hmm. Yeah, and I basically have this item that I basically found as well, and this is the person is called Burden Wellborn Hardiman,
Mm-hmm.
and he was the victim of an unethical secret U.S. government radiation experiment in 1928, and it says he was born March 9th, 1922 in Laurel Station, Indiana, and he's known as one of the earliest Negro settlements in the United States. When Hardiman was 5 years old, he was one of nine children that took part in a terrifying medical experiment
Mm-hmm.
where he and other children were severely eradicated during a medical experiment conducted at the local county hospital. And this is another reason why we are so um, you know, we basically we don't like to go to the hospital for different things, but we know we have to do that in order to basically monitor our health. But I'm trying to call me.
Okay. Okay. I think she was trying to click the phone and see. I think she hung up, but hopefully she'll call back in. And I looked it up. Cookie, I looked it up. And from 19, they're saying between 1994 and 2022, that 216 people has lost their lives on Lake Lanier. Now, Lake Lanier is just one example. There's other places throughout the United States of America where this same situation has taken place, and they buried the cities, quote unquote, black cities, and ran the people out and covered it with water. But when you hear something about between 1994 and 2022, 216 people has lost their lives on a body of water like Lake Lanier, what does that say to you, Cookie?
It says to me that it was by design. Remember, they completed Buford Dam. You know, Buford Dam is on the Chattahoochee River, and when the dam was ready to pump water, they didn't notify the city. They just let the dam pump the water, let the water build up, and everybody who was there got caught as the water rose. The people who were there, they were under the impression that maybe it was the rain led to a flood. They didn't realize that the water was going to keep coming. They had no idea. So the reason that you have all of the injuries on Lake Lanier is because the town was buried alive underneath the water, as it was. Windmills and all sorts of things, just the water just consumed them. And the lake is not, considered, that deep. So when you're out in a boat or you're out swimming, of course you're going to come across something that's going to harm you, because there's an entire town beneath your feet as you swim, beneath your boat as you travel by. These things happen all over this country, and it's just so unfortunate. Look at what happened in New Orleans in the Ninth Ward. In order to protect other parts of the city, they deliberately flooded the Ninth Ward. They blew up the dam to save other parts of the city. It's nothing new. And then when the waters receded, while the people had scattered, they went in and quickly condemned the property in the absence of the people, took all of that property, and now you have new subdivisions that companies own. People had lived there for generations and owned that land, and you claim that the city hall, the documents were damaged in the water, so the people don't have any proof of their deeds to their property because they left in a hurry. Yes, all over this country, these things happen, and it's most unfortunate. I also wanted to offer one bit of clarification with the Emmett Till story. This is no disrespect to anybody. I just think that in certain cases, words are important. It was said that this man lost his life. Emmett Till was 14, so he was a child. A child lost his life because someone told a lie.
Exactly. Toussaint, you ever heard of Benson, Alabama? Nowalaga, something like that. It is. I'm trying to read it here. You ever heard of that place?
Benson, Alabama. No, I can't say that I did.
Okay, there's a town in Alabama, which is now they say Lake Martin. Same situation. Yeah. Same situation that happened.
There's more than that.
Say it again.
There's more than that. There's a lot of cities that have been drowned, or destroyed in the midst of trying to just be people after slavery.
Come on.
In the United States, the land of the brave, the home of the free. I mean, I hate to keep because I hate to keep talking about where I come from, but you look at the great, well, not the great, but the Opelousas Massacre.
Come on.
September 28, 1868. One of the bloodiest massacres of the Reconstruction era in the United States. Hundreds of black people killed, shot, captured, chased from 150 to 300 black folks.
Mm-hmm.
And in this country, we have people that are enjoying themselves, swimming and boating and fishing
Yes.
on top of people,
On top of people that has been
and nobody's
murdered.
saying a word about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
And the reason why I say this, and I'm gonna shut up. The reason why some don't want to teach Black history, because the truth be told, there are secrets that will come out, that people have land and prosperity, but the evil that is on top of what happened to us
Mm-hmm.
comes out, and they find out that they either stole or killed or maimed or hurt somebody to get what they wanted.
Absolutely. Absolutely. This is our conversation, y'all. We're talking Black history, and what we're doing, we're actually bringing out a lot of facts. Hoping that you all will go and look into it. We just putting a lot of different information out there right now, and I know that's what's happening. A lot is coming at you. So what I hope that you would do is either have a pen or paper, write some of this stuff down, or go back and listen to the when we broadcast it again, or go back and look at the recorded version of it, and do your research. Do your research. Educate yourself. We're putting a lot out here right now, and that's the purpose. To put a lot of information out there so that you would have an opportunity to go back and research it, learn it, do a fact check on us. Do a fact check. What we're putting before you right now is absolute facts. We're talking about Black history, our history. Rico, good evening, sir. How are you doing this evening?
Man, I can't complain, man. I'm just experiencing what it's like to be out at this time in the afternoon for the first time in a little while. How everybody doing?
Hey, doing good, doing good. We're talking on Black history facts. Rico, give us a Black history fact that people may not know or may not be aware of. Did you know that?
Oh, did you know that? Did you know that? Did you know that the youngest person to be executed in the United States was a young black male named Edward Steiner Jr., and I think
Mm,
he may have been like 11 years old. I'm
hmm.
talking off the top of the head, so I don't want to make everything sound factual. But that is the youngest documented case of the U.S. judicial system taking the life of somebody
Hmm.
through their criminal court system.
Wow. 11 years old. 11. Let that sink in for a second. 11 years. We just talked a little bit about Emmett Till. We talked about him, and I think he was 14. I think they said he was 14, but this young man was 11. Our
And
baby.
not to mention,
Mhm.
he was innocent, so that
Yeah.
might be one of the first cases of a person being executed and being wrongfully convicted. I know he had to be the youngest on that too.
Hmm. Exactly. Exactly. Our babies. These are our babies. These are our babies we're talking about. 11 years old. Not even a teenager yet. 11. Let that sink into your head that somebody would do something like that to an 11-year-old. Think about that. Andy, talk to me, brother.
Well,
Well, I got a question. I got a question before you go past.
Okay, go ahead.
Did I hear correctly? Did I hear y'all correctly say that they made Lake Lanier while those people were still alive?
Yes,
Well,
that is correct.
okay.
I'm trying to find out where I can find that because I was always told that they evacuated that town, the Army Corps of Engineers, but they left all the buildings and churches and the cemeteries. They never, uprooted the body. So the cemeteries were still under there and the houses and things like that. But I was told that all the people were evacuated.
Hmm.
No, so that's incorrect. If you, there was a book I read, and in the book it talked about that the dam was late in being built, and so they told the people they could stay, and then the dam was supposed to be a trial run to see if it worked, if the water held, and when the water did held, they went ahead and flooded it. They didn't want to stop, so the people were caught unaware.
Hmm.
Mm. Okay. Okay.
as
Yeah,
as
I want
as
to find
as
that.
knowing with any construction projects, they'll have a target date, but the target date doesn't work. And I think the people were trying to get injunctions and all sorts of things, so they were staying there because they didn't want to lose their land. Remember, it was a predominantly black owned town.
Hmm. It
Right.
was.
And these people lived there for quite some time. They did not want to surrender their land. Some of them were offered to be bought out, but most of them did not. And the ones who were left there, the city, remember the state commandeered their land. It wasn't even like they were compensated for it. So no, a lot of them did not leave. I think the mayor. Listen, listen. Guess who the the man, one of the people involved in the process? Why is his name Hartfield? Isn't that who the airport is named
Yeah,
after?
yeah. Hartfield Jackson. Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Wow.
one of the men who was involved in the process. His family name was Hartsfield. I just thought that was so ironic.
Wow. Wow. You'll be amazed if you do research on a lot of these names of a lot of this stuff that's going on around here, how they're connected or how it ties into certain atrocities that has happened. You'll be amazed.
Listen, and you have to remember too, if I'm not mistaken, Lake Lanier creates a reservoir, and people, states as far away as Alabama and Florida, are able to funnel off water from that
Yes.
because it backs up the rivers. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why it was so profitable for them, because other states benefited. So everybody, it wasn't just that Georgia was in on it. Florida and Alabama and Mississippi were in on it too.
Well, they and
Could you tell me
it's
where to
been
find that information that you just quoted? I just cause I like I said, that's the first
You
time
can
I'm
Google
hearing
it.
that end of it. I
You
did.
can Google
I
it.
did.
okay.
Okay, you can Google it. It's available.
Okay, but my thing is, a lot of times what's happening, and every year here in Georgia, there's a big hoopla about the waters of Lake Lanier, and these different states are talking about who have this rights for this and who have the right for that, and it's a lot going on. Andy, go ahead, brother.
Yeah. Did you know that in July 21st, 1656, there was a woman named Elizabeth Key that sued for her freedom?
Mm-hmm.
And from there, going on up in the 1700s, 1800s, other people labeled as black sued for their freedom. And then in the 1900s, they came out with the unauthorized practice of law that was targeted just at that, because our people historically have always been able to uppower and uplift each other for their freedom. So what the system has done, those Europeans, Dutch, French, whoever was back then, they would always create rules and make them apply to us. And that's how we've been in a position of continually servitude, because we don't know about our rights. But historically, we did so much more with less than what we had. And when we look at Frederick Douglass, he rose so prominently because he was an educated man. That's
Mm-hmm.
why he rose so much. So it's like, how could you come from being enslaved to having all this knowledge? Because he read. And as you're saying right now, if we just go do our research and get a topic that inspires us, get the information, and then
Mm-hmm.
go back and do something with that. Whether it's make a movie, whether it's write a book, but be able to be in a position where we could teach that history to people, not just our people, but people. So
Mm-hmm.
then we will see ourselves as the greatness of that we are, and stop looking down at ourselves. It's the lady Dr. Joy DeGroy that really calls that the post-traumatic slave syndrome.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Exactly. Cassandra, what's on your heart, sis? Black history. Let's talk about it. Cassandra, you there? Cassandra may have stepped away for a second. She may have stepped. Let me go to Dr. Cook. Dr. Cook, you there?
I'm here.
Okay, Cassandra, go ahead.
I'm so sorry. I'm working and trying to stay on the line at the same time. So I
Good.
just didn't hear my name.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
talk to me. Black history fact. Give us a fact. What do you know about this Lake Lanier situation?
Yeah, I've heard the stories, but I've never really done any research on it.
Mm-hmm.
I really haven't, and I should have, because I'm here in Georgia,
Mm-hmm.
but I've never done the research on that particular incident.
Okay.
But I have heard. But listen, this is a common story. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, for real, just think about it. How many times have we been, our land has been taken away. I guess they called it the Great Black Migration. Remember when well, not all, but a lot of Black people were moving to the north to get away from really the slave mentality of the South.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sad because a lot of them were actually running for their lives. Their families, once a family was threatened, right?
Mm-hmm.
Once whites were coming after a family, literally they would pack up in the midnight, leave their property. I mean, put a few things they could inside the back of the trailer or whatever, and leave town.
Mm-hmm.
But that land was never given back, even after they found out that it was stolen. Was never given back to black people. Think
No.
about that.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. And truth of the matter, they never will. They won't. They won't. They never will give it back we come
Absolutely.
unless we come about and stand up and fight. Because like I said in the beginning of this broadcast, sometime in order to wake them up, you got to shake them up, and we got to shake them up and go back and take what rightfully belongs to us. There's so much that we are owed. There's a lot that we are owed. But when are we going to come together collectively, stand up and take what belongs to us? Now I'm not talking about no violence and all. People say, well, you're such a violent, but no, I'm not talking about all that. I'm talking about just get what you rightfully deserve. You cannot, and I made this a visual on the Morning Glow about a week ago. You cannot have me to come to your door, knock on your door, and ask you for something to eat. And I look and you open the door and I look inside and there's food all over the place. And you tell me that you don't have anything. I come back a couple of days later, I knock on the door, open up the door. Now you got a plate of food in your hand. I'm hungry. You got a plate of food in your hand, but yet and still you're going to tell me that you don't have any food. How many times am I going to come and knock on that door? How many times am I going to take the peaceful approach and go knock on that door? I'm still hungry. Days is gone by. I'm still hungry. Now I want something to eat. I want something to eat. Rico, talk to me.
Well, it's pretty understandable. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we all have necessities and that we need to resources to survive. It's called preservation of life.
Yes.
And when you have a situation where people try to refuse you the access to those resources and they're telling you that they don't exist, but you see other people just wasting them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these ain't just luxuries, these ain't just, the menial things that people are doing for fun. But I mean, this is, you want to put something on your belly because your stomach touching your back.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But y'all
Exactly.
telling me that I just got to, scrap up something off these little bones y'all done stew out these. No, man, I need more than crumbs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, we ain't got no more than crumbs.
Mm.
No, I know you got more than crumbs. You just fed them to the dog.
Exactly. Exactly.
I think I'm a little bit better than a dog. Yeah, maybe they did say I was 3/5 of a human a long time ago, but I think I proved y'all different when you stole all my inventions
Mm-hmm.
and claimed them as yours.
Mm-hmm.
When I created the boll weevil, the cotton gin, I mean, come on, man. I mean, yeah, man. What do you expect when people need to survive and then they're watching other people thrive for less work or for no work off of what you did off your back? But
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, that's what made America great. That's what America made America powerful. That's what made America what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So now we in a situation where we live in a country, an institution that says that if you don't know slavery ended, we ain't gonna tell you.
Yeah. 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 Mm-hmm. Exactly.
We'll free you when Juneteenth come around. Oh, you
Mm-hmm.
don't know that you didn't invent that, or you didn't know a black man invented that. We ain't gonna tell you.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to learn and find out that you did invent it? Y'all trying to make us hate white people. You try to make us look bad. No, I don't want y'all teaching that history. I
Mm-hmm.
don't want y'all teaching y'all the truth. We don't want to teach y'all that the America had to already be discovered when we so-called landed on it or found it,
Mm-hmm.
or when we were led to it by Moore.
Exactly.
We discovered America.
Mm-hmm.
Those weren't people over there. I'm savages. But
Mm.
this is their history. How much a part of it do you really want to be?
Exactly. Exactly. Tucson, talk to me, brother. Tucson, you there?
Yeah, I was trying to get rid of the I was trying to get rid of the background noise, but that's almost impossible.
It was. It's that mute button. It's that mute button.
Yeah, that too. I wonder who created. If you find somebody figure out who invented the mute button, I would have had a hand in that too.
Exactly.
Cookie did it.
Go.
History is Black history. Period.
Yeah.
When I think my brother said it, it's not. You can't limit yourself to putting yourself in that category. Not trying to forget about who you are and where you come from. But then when you look at history, even biblical history, biblical truths, check it out.
Yeah.
Look at where they come from. Look at where everything is happening. Look at where Jerusalem at?
Come on.
Where's all of these things that when we saw movies coming up, I'm telling myself, wait a minute, hold on, something wrong with this picture. Ain't no black folks. And you're in the heart of Africa. What's wrong with that picture? So when we talk about history, you can't talk about history without talking about Black history.
Absolutely.
That's why some say, let's just talk about history. So that's what we're doing now.
Wow, good deal. Real quickly.
So
yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I only have a couple of minutes, so I wanted to give you my last facts, if I could, if no one minds.
Okay, yeah, we're going to get out of here in a second. Go ahead.
Yes, I have a couple of facts I wanted to give you. One is, do you know that Judy Reed was the first Black woman to acquire a patent? And her patent was for a dough roller and kneader. It helped people make bread. It became the modern bread mixer. The second person is, did you all know who Alexander Miles is? Alexander Miles is a Black man who got a patent for automated elevator doors. Before his invention, people used to have to pull the cage and close the cage every time the elevator went up. And many buildings used to have elevators that had no covering. You just step back and let the elevator go to the top. So people used to fall out and injure themselves.
Wow.
His invention used to make him technically a millionaire. The last thing I would want to do is rehash a story that we talked about on the Morning Glow. The story was about Sophia Stewart. Remember, we said Sophia Stewart is a Black woman who wrote The Matrix 1, 2, and 3. She also wrote The Terminator 1, 2, and 3. She copyrighted her work and she submitted it for publication and for possible studio or movie deals. And what happened is two brothers, the Wachowski brothers, sent her a rejection letter that told her that it wasn't worthy to be published. And then they stole it and made it into a movie, word for word. Warner Brothers conspired with them. So when she tried to sue, they tied her up in litigation, and it took 30 years for her to get a determination. But she was awarded the largest copyright infringement suit in Hollywood history. Her reward was $2.5 billion.
Wow, that's good. That's good. And y'all know I got to have a lighter side what we're talking about, because we bring some real serious things. But I always thought that the one that invented the elevator name was Otis, because I see Otis name, and Otis is always a brother. I ain't never seen no white Otis. And so I said, when I go on the elevator, I look up there and it say Otis name up there. And so I figured Otis was a brother, and I knew he had to be Black. So Otis is a brother. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Andy, go ahead, brother.
So are y'all telling me that woman that won that lawsuit is on the billionaire list now?
She should be. She's like 90-something years old now, though. So yeah, I think she's in her 90s now. She's 90,
the one that wrote The Matrix.
Yeah, when I looked it up, they said she was around 90. Yeah, that's what it said. Right?
Oh, wow.
80 or 90 years old. Yeah, but it was quite a few years ago, though. It's probably written, but how they take a long time to do this and do that. And they say she's been fighting for over 30 years. I think that's what I just heard. And so yeah.
Okay.
Remember, the first one she was fighting for was the Terminator. and the Terminator, that is over 30 years old.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Matrix is right about 30 years old, but she was
Mm-hmm.
in court for 30 years. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
how old she was when she wrote it,
Yeah.
but she
Yeah.
was in court fighting for 30 years.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Wow.
That's a long time.
That's a long time.
I was thinking that people really have, you're not gonna say people, you have some that really have a problem, an issue with Black history, and then you have, white people that have a problem with it. Then you have some Black people that say, well, why are we doing that? We're limiting ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
But I think overall we have to understand that if we had an accurate story of mankind, if we had accurate history, we wouldn't have a Black history. We
Yeah.
wouldn't have to use that terminology, because I get it. History is history. You just can't sit back and say, okay, this is history, now this is Black history. That's like no, it all happened at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
The story is the story. You can't omit anything.
Yeah.
But things have been omitted.
Tell the truth.
So, if we're going to go to school and learn omitted history, if anybody questions why we have to have Black history, because that history that they have designed to say that we have succeeded or we have achieved or that we passed is inaccurate.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Because the Native Americans are already here. Columbus didn't discover America, for example.
Mm-hmm.
So, we learn this and we learn what they tell us, but it is necessary for accurate history to be taught. We wouldn't have to worry about even having these discussions. We wouldn't even have to worry about having this month if they just gave accurate history.
Just tell the truth. Just tell the truth. Andy, go ahead, brother.
Well, since the sister was talking about inventions, I'm not the first Black inventor, but I believe I'm the first Black inventor. I invented a coffin in the shape of a teddy bear called Buddy Bear. It's for little kids. And so we plan on opening up a manufacturing thing, because as much as I enjoy the history, I still know today in the present, we still got to be creators and manufacturers and do that too. And this time can't nobody steal it, because I'm right here to do it.
Good deal. Good deal. And on that note, this has been a great broadcast. We're gonna be here every Thursday from 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock. We're gonna talk Black history. We're coming back next week, next Thursday. Look forward from 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock. We're gonna do the same thing all over again. We're gonna bring different facts. Hopefully we'll have some of the same people, or we may have a few different people that's gonna go as we move forward. But we're bringing facts, Black history facts, stuff that they don't teach you in school, stuff that they don't want you to learn, stuff that they don't want you to know. So I want to thank you all for joining us this evening. It's been a great broadcast. Cassandra, you still with us? Cassandra, you there? Okay, Cassandra may be away from their phone. I'm gonna put you on the spot, brother. Andy,
Put me on the spot on what?
pray us out, brother.
Oh, but definitely. Oh, merciful, magnificent, wonderful creator, we thank you for not only this month, but for the history of our people, and you let us out of bondage. So as we come into just another great season, we thank you for the freedom that you have given to us, that we are joint heir ambassadors to the throne, and we shall see the victory that you have promised us if we could just believe. So I thank you for this. I thank you for the show. I thank you for the elders and the other participants that were able to be here, and to all our listeners. And we say to the best, stay blessed. Thank you. Amen.
Amen. Amen. And with that being said, I want to thank everybody for joining us. And more than that, I want to thank you for allowing DK and Media Group on associates and the Raheen Ashimi Show for being a part of your evening. It is now, what is it? 7:09. You're about to exit the Raheen Ashimi Show. But before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us, because we are certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple, I want you to go out there, find somebody and give them a hug, because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Have a great evening and a better tomorrow. That we shine some of this light on you from the Raheen Ashimi Show. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in, and let your light so shine. If you get an opportunity, give somebody some love. You just might find some love in return. Won't that be a beautiful thing? Have a great evening. Take care of each other. And I'll see you tomorrow morning if God says the same.
Ready?
I want you to get ready. Only thing I want you to do is to be ready. This is the broadcast that will talk about open and honest conversations every time we come live. I want you to get ready. Get ready, prepare yourself. Things happen all the time. There's always things coming at us. Get ready, strap your seatbelt on real tight, and get ready because you are embarking in. This is
The Raheen Ashimi